Hello YouTube, I'm back again today, this time with a deck profile of Roids. And the way I tried to make Roids was using this card, Barbaroid, the Ultimate Battle Machine. This card is 4,000 attack, 4,000 defense, and it's a fusion monster that requires 5 machine-type Roid monsters. This card can attack twice during each battle phase. This card cannot attack your opponent's life points directly. After banish calculations, if this card attacked an opponent's monster, negate that monster's effects, including if it goes to the graveyard. This card cannot be destroyed by battle. Inflict 1,000 damage to your opponent. So it has quite a few effects going for it, and most of them are pretty good. And when you use this card in League with Power Bond, it's pretty much just a wrecking machine that'll normally score you an OTK. So let's get along with the deck profile. The main card really of the deck is Expressroid. When this card is summoned, you can add 2 Roid monsters from your grave to your hand. This is extremely good because when it's summoned, you get 2 Roids from your hand, so you'll have at least 3 Roids, and you're halfway home using Power Bond to summon the Ultimate Battle Machine. I run 3 Gyroids. Once per turn, this card can't be destroyed by battle, so you can just set it, your opponent attacks it, flip it up, and it'll stay there. Shuttle Roid. This card is a lot like Wind Up Rabbit, but it's not nearly as good. When it's targeted for as an attack target, you can remove it from play, and during your next standby phase, it comes back, and you inflict 1,000 damage to your opponent. And that 1,000 damage is really nice because that could be enough to put them over the edge after your Barbaroid has had its way with them. 3 Jetroid. If this card is selected as an attack target, you can activate traps from your hand. So this way you can go around using your traps without having to fear MST or Heavy Storm. So that's really nice. 3 Drill Roid because, well, if it attacks a defense position monster, it is destroyed before damage calculations. So this helps get over Spirit Reapers, Marshmallows, and all that hippie shit. 3 Truck Roid. I mostly just picked it because of its 2,000 defense. But also, if it attacks one of your opponent's monsters and sends it to the grave, destroys it and sends it to the grave, that monster gets equipped to Truck Roid and it gains that monster's attack. So, in the off chance you attack we'll say Spore. Spore then gets equipped to Truck Roid and your opponent can't use Spore. So that's nice. And 3 Ambulance Roid. When a Roid type monster is added from your grave to your hand, you can special summon that monster. I really don't like this card, but I'll explain why I run it when I get to the spells. And 1 Gores because the more I use Gores, the more I love Gores. And I run 3 Power Bond because it lets you summon your Barbaroid. And just as a reminder that when this card, during the end phase, when you use it as a fusion summon, you take damage equal to the original attack of this monster. So you'll be taking 4,000 damage, which is not, well, that's quite a bit of damage, but normally you'll want to try to OTK when you go for the play. I run limiter removal because I run a bunch of machines, and sometimes, well, let's just pretend they have a 5-headed dragon on the field, and you play Power Bond, you summon this guy, he's 8,000, and then you can limiter removal and just make him real big, you know, for the lulz and such, and it lets you plus your Roid monsters are really weak, so it helps get over them. Machine Duplication. Target 1 machine monster with 500 or less attack, special summon up to 2 of those monsters from your deck with the same name. So there are 2 monsters this works with, Expressroid and Ambulance Roid. That's why I run Ambulance Roid, because it's a target for that. So what this does is it lets you get to your machine Roids in your deck to prep for the OTK, or you can use them for Xyz plays. And in the League of Expressroid, say you use Machine Duplication to summon Expressroid, and you summon 2 of them. I could be wrong with this ruling, but I believe I am correct. When if 2 are summoned and you have enough targets, you can add 4 monsters to your hand. So that is really good because since they're both, even though they're both optional effects, they activate at the same time. They're trying to activate at the same time. But that's just really good. Monster Barn, Dark Hole, Heavy Storm staples. 2 MST. I wish I could run a 3rd one just because you're running to OTK with a giant monster, so you want to clear your opponent's back row. Unfortunately, as you can see, I'm running a 42 card deck, pretty closed on space. And then we go into the 9 traps, which is a lot of traps for me. 2 Torrential, 2 Mirror Force. Mirror Force can help with Jetroid. 2 D-Prison. D-Prison can help with Jetroid. And 3 Supercharge. I've only used this deck about 4 times, but so far I've been able to win all 4 times. And what this card is, it's just a pot of greed. If a Roid type monster you can win the only monsters you control are Roid type machines, and one of them is selected as an attack target. So this is also really good because it works in league with Jetroid. So if your opponent attacks Jetroid, you can activate this from your hand. Or if you have it set and they attack Shuttle Roid, you can activate Shuttle Roid's effect to banish it and chain Supercharge to it, so you'll be able to draw 2 cards and save Shuttle Roid for next turn, and then when he comes back, inflict 1,000. So it's really good. Along to the extra deck, I run Chimera Fortress Dragon. Just in case my opponent has Cyber End on the field, I can go ahead and take that off the field. That's really nice. I run 3 just to be safe. I just want to make sure, because I also run 3 Power Bonds. Maybe I'll be able to do shenanigans because they're on the field, but I really doubt that. I will run 1 Wind-Up Zen mains. It works, I can use with Ambulance, Sword, and Gyroid. And it's also Machine Monster, so it combos well with limiter removal. Levier the Sea Dragon, in case one of my Roids gets banished, like if Shuttle Roid gets bottomless, I can bring it back. Giga Brilliant. These monsters are pretty weak, so I can use Giga Brilliant to boost them up. Levier is just a pretty good generic beater, 25 beater or so. Gaga Cowboy. Just a really good card. Gets over anything with 3,000 or less attack, or I can inflict an extra 800 damage to my opponent, which is all good. Lavalal Chain. Well, what I should explain about the side deck is that outside of the Chimera Fortress Dragon and the Baboroid, you can just fill it up with a bunch of rank 3s and 4s. So that's what these are. Lavalal Chain. It's just a really versatile card. Maybe I can put a monster in my grave to start stacking up for an Expressroid play, or I can put an Expressroid at the top of my deck for next turn. Main Stroke for stall. Black Ship of Corn, because it's just really good, and as I said about the extra 1,000 about Jetroid, that's always good. Photon Papral Operative. The second time I was going for game with this deck, my opponent had a set card, and what was it? Excalibur, Heroic Champion Excalibur on the field. That was still at 4,000. But I was able to go for the play. He had a set card, so I flipped it face up, dropped it to 0 attack, and he quit before I could play Power Bond and game him. Gear Giant X. This card lets you search out pretty much all your machine monsters, so that's really nice. And Utopia, just to stall out. I think that's all I have to say about the deck. Thank you for watching, and please comment, rate, subscribe, and goodbye.